Hello dear learners, as we learned in previous videos about the complete procurement process from purchase requisition to payment to the vendor, today we will discuss about the abbreviations, it means short forms which used in procurement department or in terms of contracts. So we today we will discuss about so many abbreviations which is used in procurement departments. First one is the purchase requisition. Its short form is called a PR. We already discussed in previous videos about the PR. What is the PR and which department they made it and why it is needed, and this complete thing we will already discuss in previous videos. Second point is how invitation to tender. Whenever the any buyer send invitation to any other vendor for to bid in the tender, it is also called the invitation to the tender. It is its short form called ITD. To to let him learn these abbreviations, the purpose behind that is, if you work in the procurement department and if you see anywhere ITD, it means in your mind promptly click about the ITD, it means invitation to tender. Then it is also called an invitation for tender. There are various names to float the inquiry to the vendor. So every organization has used different names according to their relevance or interest. Then fourth is RFP, request for proposal. Normally request for proposal is used when you have to send the inquiry to the vendor via system. There are so many digital systems available nowadays in the market like SAP, Oracle, Ariba, Microsoft Dynamics, etc. So if you send the inquiry to these all systems, then it is called a request for proposal, RFQ. It is called a request for quotation. It is also carry the same meaning of request for proposal, and it is also used in system inquiry. It means request for quotation when you send inquiry to the vendor through via system, then it is called a request for quotation. CS, then comparative statement. It is the most crucial point of the procurement department because CS, it means a comparative statement. In that you have to compare the commercial price as well as technical acknowledgement in that, so higher management can understand this vendor is technically approved or not, then this vendor has given a appropriate code, this vendor is ready for commercial terms condition or not. So it is a main part of the procurement process. For that, future of the procurement or the further process on depend. So now we will move forward. 7th point is a work order. Work order, which is we already previously discussed. The work order is already issued. Work order is already discussed in previous videos. The work order, it means when the big project small part we given to the third party, it is called a work order. So if anywhere you found in procurement department W, it is quickly understand that it is a work order. Then other is a service order. It is also we told that service means we will hire the third party services or contract for they give us their services and we give him the payment. So it is a service order. So there are various short forms which is used in terms of orders. Then purchase order. Its short form is PO. As purchase order, you already understand that purchase order it means when the buyer gives any supply order to the seller, then mainly the purchase order word is used and its short form is PO. Purchase order is used in supply part. LOI, letter of intent. Its short form is LOI. So sometimes in documents there is mention LOI. So you have to understand it is means LOI. It means letter of intent. There is no any other meaning of LOI in commercial point of view. So the LOI were used when we send the confirmation, when we need to take a confirmation from vendor when it is interested to bid in this product or contract, yes or no. Then LOA, letter of award. It is also called a letter of award which we have issued as a buyer confirmation to you have to provide this material to us within the scheduled date mentioned in the LOA and the terms and condition and the prices mentioned in LOA. So LOA is a legal contract between the two parties. One both are signed on them. Then LC, letter of credit. Letter of credit is a big thing because the letter of credit meaning is that once suppose we discuss about the letter of credit in depth as an imagine as one seller side production plant and the one buyer side warehouse. When when at the cross country contract, when the seller when the seller provide their material to the buyer and at the same time the buyer give letter of credit to the bank. In this context both the banks were interpreted, one buyer side bank and one seller side bank. Once the goods is received by buyer side, then buyer will give the confirmation to his bank to give the payment of his bank, and 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 seller side once receive the payment they will confirm the buyer, yes I received all the documents and the payment. C and credit note. Credit note is also a main part and crucial point in the context of commercial as well as legal as well as procurement. Where credit note is used, suppose as a buyer procurement, they give they they release they awarded one order to the one vendor, and in that by mistakenly maybe buyer will give the mention more amount comparative to they discuss while tendering. So in this context, uh, contractor given him the credit note to the buyer. Other scenario is when after issuing of PO contractor has been given some discount to the buyer, and before the PO issuance they have by mistakenly they have not given the discount. So for as a discount they also provide credit note to the buyer. So other point is a DN. It means it is called a debit note. When the debit note is used, when same in the reverse scenario, when the end seller in purchase order buyer mention some 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 less amount, less amount, some more amount mentioned in the PO compared to the finalization of the tender, then the contractor gives the debit note to him. BG, it means a bank guarantee. What is the meaning of bank guarantee? The bank guarantee is a type of a guarantee in which the bank will interpret and provide a security to the buyer about their contract. It means that bank guarantee is provided by the bank, and it is provided by the normally this bank guarantee is applicable on the above 50 lakh contracts, or mainly in the government contract it is about 2 to 5%, and in private contract it is about maybe 10% PBG. The perform PBG full form is performance guarantee. It is also short form as a PBG. The performance bank guarantee is used against the supply in which the guarantee period will be added once the material is supplied. CPG is a contract performance guarantee. CPG. When the CPG will be used. Contract performance guarantee is used normally in service in that after completion of contract period there will be some addition of fact liability period. It is called a DLP. What is the DLP? Defect liability period. So it is called we give the some guarantee from the contractor after completion of work. Then input tax credit. What is the meaning of input tax credit? When the buyer can get a benefit to pay their tax to the contractor, it is called an input tax credit. Now we will move ahead towards the GRN. It means goods receipt note. Goods receipt note, as we discussed in previous videos, it is generated after the receipt of good into the buyer's premises and after their inspection. And after their inspection, SCS, it means a service entry sheet. When in, if there is some any service order, then in that it will be the contract period of 12 months or but the invoice submission is for every month. So every month whatever contractor did the work, they will raise their invoice on at the every month of the end, and there according to that the user department made the SCS service entry sheet. Service entry sheets. So according to that, they made a service entry sheet as per that month consumed quantity. LR, it means a lorry receipt. One, any vendor can supply their material via the transportation like commercial vehicles or the trucks or any other courier. Then the rail transporter give him the LR. It is called a lorry receipt to the seller as a confirmation that we have received your material and we will provide supply travel. We will provide your material to the buyer side as an acceptance. So its short form is called a lorry receipt. Then delivery challan. It is delivery challan is given from the normally to the if you give to any courier, if seller give any courier to the buyer, then delivery challan is raised and there's delivery challan copy also sent seller to the buyer as a confirmation that we send you the some documents or materials. PI performa invoice. When there is a need of organization to advance payment, then performa invoice is raised. PI performance invoice is also called a dummy invoice DI because it is not a legal invoice but it is a performa invoice when that the seller is raised, and once the seller is raised performa invoice, then first buyer paid them the payment about the performance invoice according, and then the seller provide their material or service to him. So it is a performance invoice is also called a dummy invoice, and it is used when advance payment has been done. Then it is called the invoice receipt. Once whatever material service given by the contractor to our premises and it is confirmed by our user department, then the we told then there is some copy of goods receipt note or service entry sheet to the contractor, and they will raise their invoice and send to us for the further payment process. So invoice receipt is also called once we receive the signed and stamped invoice from the contractor in proper way. Now CIN, it means a corporate identity number. Any whatever quantity either new or existing company has a CIN number. It means a corporate identity number. It is a unique number given by the MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It is under the government of India. So it is a compulsory that it is a legal entity in India to provide or do their work in India. So as a commercial executive and commercial engineer, we should know what is the CIN full form and what is the corporate identity number of, and what is the meaning and the meaning behind this number. LPP LLP. It is called a limited liability partnership as per in Companies Act 2013. There are so many segregation in the types of companies. So is one of the type is limited liability partnership, in that the ownership of the company has only on the one people. So it is called a limited liability partnership. It is not a limited company, private limited company, or solo company. It is a limited liability partnership. MSME. It is a micro, small, and medium enterprises. The MSME is a, you should know what is the full form MSME, because when any company register a new vendor into their system, so there is a must know about the micro, small, and medium enterprises certificate, because if the when seller is not approved by the MSME, then there might be a risk to do the to give him the order and get the material, because there is no guarantee it is given as per our standards or Indian standards. So MSME is a must point by any organization. Then ARC, annual rate contract. It is also a crucial point in as a commercial person. You should know when this term is used when the sum of the items which regularly consume on the every year. Sometimes, as per example, when we told about the various IT systems like biometric systems, like firewall system, CPBX system, there is a need to when your office is increases or any other type of increases. As an example, safety related item like PPEs, or then there is some extinguishers or that thing. So for that, as an procurement engineer, we should do the contract with the contractor on the ARC, annual rate contract. So for that, the rate is confirm for the 1 year, and it is a farm for the 1 year, and whenever we needed this material, we only confirm that we have need this material and how much time you will deliver this material on this site, and price is already same as per ARC document. So there is a process is short, and we can move ahead fastly. To an HO, it means a head office. When this, when we, as whatever contractor bid in our tender, so we have already we must have know where is their head office, because head office is a main concern about if any disputes or li- li- listening is occur with the vendor, so we know what is the head office, and for that HO is short form used in some companies for the head office. ABG, Advanced Bank Guarantee. It is also a type of bank guarantee which will be get from contractor in advance before placement of or award. So it is also our terms of security which we have given the contract, which we take from the contractor as a security. Earnest money deposit is also a part of security deposit. It is called earnest money deposit. It is we give with the tender bidding their vendor quotation, and once we finalize the order, then we return the EMD to the contractor. The purpose behind the taking the advance bank guarantee and earnest money deposit is to vendor is sincere about their quotation and bidding, so they have not doing any time pass or their some kidding. So it is a shows the vendor sincerity. P2P, it is a procure to pay cycle in which the complete purchase requisition raised to the payment of vendor is covered. So it is a whole thing. It is a very wider spread in which purchase requisition is raised, inquiry is floated, quotation is received, technically approved the vendor, making the comparative statement, preparation of approval note, award of approval note, received the goods or taking the services, then invoice received, then payment has been done. So this whole procedure covers in the P2P procure to pay. ITB, it is also called the invitation to bid. So it is also called it is used when we send the tender to the contractor, then it is also called ITB invitation to bid. So vendor has provided their bid BOQ, bill of quantity. It is a crucial thing. Whatever PR raised by user team, and there in that PR, what is the item description, serial number, quantity, unit of measurement is mentioned. These all things combined is called a B of quantity. And once we added rates, means unit rates, total rates, GST rates, grand total, these all things, then it will transfer from the SOR, schedule of rates. DOA, delegation of authority, is a must think for the every organization, because the decision has been taken by the organization on the basis of the delegation of authority document DOA. So every employee or engineer should know which person has how much authority to approve the debit. SD means security deposit. Whatever we told about that, We take on a security deposit from the vendor as a part of their sincerity towards this bid. So last point is that the SOR schedule of rates as we discussed, when we add rates in the bill of quantity, then it will be transferred from the SOR schedule of rate sheet.